Ladies and gentlemen, I can only start by saying, wow. The normal protocol is to say, you're not DG, Secretary General of ITU. I'm going to skip all of that. I'm going to skip the formalities because this is wow. Everybody thinks, okay, yes, I'm old. I've got 3 children. Yes, I've got 3 grandchildren. And we think the youth is not important. They are. Because you're not the youth, you are the leaders. And I don't hear anything. Let me underline it. You are the leaders. That's why you are here. We cannot work alone. 2/3 of our population consists of the youth. Let's quickly look just at the WMO, those working within the WMO. In my department, when I joined the WMO, were mostly people 50 plus. I think they were the oldest department. 70% male. Today, they're the youngest department. And 50% gender representation. And I'm looking in front of me and I see excellent gender representation. Because it's not about us anymore. It's about the leaders for your future, our grandchildren's future. With that, I'm going to leave you with something to start off with. And you may hear from my accent, I'm African. I'm glad to see my African comrades and friends. I know it's not UN acceptable to say I'm African, but I'm proudly African. And I don't know if you know the word Ubuntu, and you may relate to it. Ubuntu can best be described as an African philosophy that places emphasis on being self through others. It is a form of humanism which can be expressed in the phrases, I am because of who we all are. And Ubuntu, Ngubutu, Ngatu in Zulu language. And then if we take it down into Afrika du Sud, my home country, Ubuntu is a capacity in South African culture that expresses compassion, reciprocity, dignity, harmony, and humanity in the interest of building and maintaining a community with justice and mutual caring. And this is how I see the youth. This is how I see the leaders of the future. Because if we roll back the clock a couple of years ago, it was not about us. It was about individuals, working individually, going forward. And therefore it was very much delighted when the Secretary General of the United Nations on the 23rd of March 2022 said, he wants everybody to be protected by early warning systems in 5 years, and he requested the WMO to lead the action plan to be presented at COP last year. That was the first call to ask the WMO to lead with other UN agencies, not to own it, to lead. ITU is one of those people working with us. I see UNESCO's here, UN Water is here, UN Oceans are here, which I quickly picked up. They're all working with us. We can't do this alone. We've got to work with everybody alone. We've got to work with everybody to make this a success. Now, where do the youth come in? Within the WMO, we've got what we call UNIFY, United Nations International Federation for the Youth. 2 years ago, I looked at them and I said, so what's your vision? What's your mission? Are you an activist group? If so, I don't want to speak with you. Yes. I told them, I don't want to speak with you. If you can change it around to say, we would like to be part of the solution, and this is how we can do it, then let's talk. And they had immense successes last year during a meeting with the UN Secretary General and various member states. on what they can do and how they can contribute. And this is what I would like to see from the youth. You've got the technology, you've got the energy. Believe it or not, at my age, I've got the energy as well. I love working with young people. Yes, sometimes we need to just bring it back a little bit to the box, but it's excellent. Sometimes they go outside the box to find new ideas, which works, because we are so stuck in our ways, we don't want to listen, but they do open our eyes to see the world going forward. Within the WMO, there are various opportunities. The Secretary General just spoke about a couple of aspects. We've got climate policy, we've got seasonal prediction, we've got water, we've got hydrology, and not only water, water quality and water availability, aviation, oceanography, marine meteorology, we've got infrastructure, and we've got data. We've heard a little bit from the Deputy Secretary General on the 6 main aspects and the things that you will be dealt with. I'm going to take a challenge to you now. Look at your phones and tell me how many of you are using your own country's authoritative voice of forwarding the weather warnings and adverts provided by your country. A lot of people are using the apps that they get from their phones, from their service providers. But for us to make a success so that everybody is protected by early warning systems in 5 years, we've got to make use of the authoritative voice, which is the National Meteorological and Hydrological Service of that country. And this is where you can come in, because you've got the know-how. I don't know how Twitter works. I don't know how TikTok works and all of these things. You do. And you can get the message. No, that's fake news. Is that the right term? Fake news? Yeah. This is fake news. This is the real story. Follow this. Half of the people in Africa do not have communication. They can't access mobile phones. The most vulnerable are those, the gender and the young people in Africa, in small island states. But they need to get the right message. At the end of the day, for everybody to be protected by early warning systems. I'm not going to say a lot of words. I'm going to leave you with one last message. Before I went on my summer holidays, you can see my nice stand. I don't have one of those solar things in my room. I said to a young people in my office, I said, I would like you to compile a document for Executive Council's consideration this coming February, focusing on the youth, which I would like our Congress to approve in May. In short, I would like to see more youth represented in our expert teams, in our study groups, everywhere. Because they're not there. They're here. But they're not when we negotiate. They're not contributing. We've got volunteers, but be part. Go to your Met Service, go to your country. You don't have to work for your National Meteorological and Hydrological Service. The PR of the country is not the PR of the Met Service. It stands for Permanent Representative of the country. And you can show this is how we can contribute. This is how you can get involved in all our groups. So that by next time we present a paper on climate, on water, on whatever the topic may be, you may be standing there presenting that paper on behalf of members and member states. I wish you all the best. And I really like to hope to see you in my office for a cup of coffee. I don't drink beer, but we can share wine or whatever. But you are the leaders. Make us proud. I thank you.